Welcome to Decker Tech. Today's deck is Goblins Come and Go. Build around card is Krenko. This is a 3-color version of the deck, which we wish it was like 1 or 2 colors, so the mana base was a little less expensive, or I don't know, hard to get around kind of thing. But this is what it is. We're trying to get. The problem with Krenko is you have trouble getting value from him right away. He's kind of a build, like a kind of wind-up kind of card. So what we chose to do is actually build around just the entering of the goblins and maybe the ending, because the thing Krenko is weak against is board wipes. So we're getting value from his creatures immediately, and then we're also kind of a tappied. All this mana comes in tapped, but I think we keep the hand nonetheless because we have the colors to cast everything. It's just on the tempo is going to be bad. But so Krenko, we're trying to get the effect of we're giving him haste. We're getting the effect of his creatures entering the battlefield right away, and if he gets board wipe, then we have ways to bring that all to pay off for that. So that either the Midnight Reapers for Krenko dying, or we also have the Cruel Celebrant for when creatures die, drain our opponent, that sort of thing. Okay, so far Simic adventures, maybe Teamer adventures. We could Shock in the Foundry kill the Edgewall Innkeeper. I think that's what I actually want to do. That doesn't leave us any black for any of these, but we could do a Chandra the turn after. Problem is, Chandra doesn't deal with the Lovestruck Beast, because he can Lovestruck Beast next turn. But we don't really have any other play, so who knows? Maybe if we kill the Innkeeper, he doesn't play the Lovestruck. Let us see. So definitely. Oh, I said Simic. Yeah. So far it's just Simic adventures. Ooh, we have a chance to play Krenko. Let's play Krenko. He is the namesake of the deck. So far we look like we're Boros when we have all this black going on. It's because this Castle Lochthwain. If I had started with it tapped, this would be a different story. Okay, does he find a red? Nope, he is Simic. So he probably has an Uro, maybe a Nissa, because he's not running the red cards from adventures. I wonder if he still has a Clover. I would still think there's a Clover. Okay, so Krenko did his job. He scared off our opponent. He didn't want to let Krenko swing in on him, so that's exactly what we're looking for. The question is, do we play the Midnight Reaper, or do we play the Stormfist Crusader with this black mana that we have? I think it's a Midnight Reaper, so we can play a Midnight Reaper and a Stormfist Crusader next turn, although we don't have any of our life gain. I think our only life gain in this iteration is the Cruel Celebrant. So we do have to watch our life total because it will get dangerously low, dangerously fast. Is this a Nissa? Faye wishes. Wishing. What is he wishing for? We don't like to see granted. It's a very scary card to see your opponent do. It's just like, oh, let me just pick a card. The right card. The Great Henge. That's a good card. So we have to kill the Lovestruck Beast this turn if we can, which we can do if he blocks our Midnight Reaper. So what we're going to do, if he blocks either of them, this is assuming he doesn't have a counterspell, though. Because what we're going to do is play as a Chandra. Down take the Chandra. Right, because we have one? Yeah. Play a Scorching Dragonfire. Play the Scorching Dragonfire. Auto pay. Bam. Okay. So we had to hide the land in the Chandra so that he didn't suspect anything, because we do not want our opponent playing a Henge Like, the later he plays the Henge, the happier we are. Problem is, he might be able to play the Giant soon. Okay, bunch of 1/1s. No, we don't have any haste for this second Krenko, unfortunately. Ooh, but we do have an Elspeth Conquers Death for the Lovestruck Beast. I think I'm okay with that. Like I said, all we got to do is just make sure he does not cast the Henge. Like, we could have saved that for the Henge, but at the same time, I'd just rather he not cast it. Like, so we've got enough blockers to protect the Chandra, so I think it's just swingsies with the elementals. We could swing with the Midnight Reaper, leaving Chandra going to 1. But he might kill the Midnight Reaper, which I don't know if we're okay with at this point. I think we're actually okay with it. I think I'm fine drawing a card. Yeah. Yeah. Because we haven't played a land this turn. And mana is always nice. The nice thing about the Elspeth Conquers Death is his Henge is going to cost 2 more next turn if he does play a big creature. It's still going to cost very cheap because it's a Beanstalk Giant. So now, ways to get around the Beanstalk Giant is what we're looking for. And Corpse Knight and Cruel Celebrant will do that just fine. So, can we play Corpse Knight, Cruel Celebrant, and Stormfist? We don't have 3 black. So which 2 do we like the most? I think it's the Corpse Knight and the Cruel Celebrant. Yeah, just making sure the stuff taps the way I like it to. We just need to leave 1 blocker behind for the Giant. Problem is, yeah, just 1 blocker. Because if he removes a blocker, I think we're still okay with this. Now, if we have a way to give Krenko haste, we definitely win next turn, unless he gets a lot deeper into his game plan. So he can play the Henge, yeah. So it costs, like I said, 2 extra because of Elspeth. That was nice. Because we can get back a Midnight Reaper or a Krenko next turn. Chandra represents 4 damage by herself. Because 2 for the Corpse Knight, 2 for the Cruel Celebrant. So let me, let you read these here. Creature enters, opponent loses life. Creature exit, opponent loses life, we gain life. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite there. Oh, but we have Castle Embereth, so if he lets any through, but he shouldn't let any through. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana, so we could play a Krenko or a Midnight or a Stormfist. Problem is we can't give Krenko haste. But he does get him in bigger so that he can do things. Okay, nothing to cast for Chandra, so Chandra's definitely doing her down tick. See what we got coming on next turn. Another Chandra. I think that's fine to leave on top. Our opponent can gain a little life next turn with the Henge, 2 for tapping it. So if we swing with the Corpse Knight and draw a card with the Reaper, we can play another Chandra and do some more damage. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So it's a little tricky here, but when he kills the Corpse Knight, we get a Chandra, which then can do 2 more damage by activating a second Chandra. So, tricky plays are tricky! I mean, he goes to 1 here anyway, so... Oh, and actually us just killing our own Chandra is... Check this out. We don't even have to activate Chandra. I just keep the new Chandra, and the old one Chandra died, and Cruel Celebrant triggered. So, it worked just fine. Alright, Simic Adventures. So, things that kill 5/5 Love-Struck beasts. Eat to Extinction does, but decisions. So, I think Shocking and Edgewall Innkeeper is good, and Legion's Ending and Edgewall Innkeeper is good. I think I like Legion's End better than Scorching Dragonfire in this matchup because Legion's End will hit just as many things, but can hit more things. So maybe one more Legion's End. I think we do need some sort of board wipe, whether that's Kaya's Wrath or Shadow the Sky, just in case he gets a giant out and we can't deal with it. So probably one of each. No, maybe Elspeth Conquers Death. Maybe I'm a little too quick to do that. Because we can Conclave Tribunal a giant. We can Elspeth Conquers Death a giant. He is Simic, so he could bounce the Tribunal. But at the same time, I think we're safe to try it. Stormfist Crusader. This might just come out of the deck. I like it. But at the same time, I think our opponent is ramping. Like, our opponent will be able to use the extra cards faster than we can. And we've got enough going on. Especially when we add in the removal. So maybe it's just a game 1 card, and game 2 and 3 it always comes out, but that seems a little questionable. Okay, so we do have 2 Salmon Sprint. Maybe we need to go up to 3, because there's been a couple times where we've had Krenko in hand, but no haste to enable him. Because that last game, if you noticed, if we had any sort of haste on Krenko, we'd be able to play him, swing with him, make a bunch of tokens, and kill our opponent that way. Snow White Mana again, which is 3 of our cards locked out. We have no Scry, so the chances of getting that white mana are slim. Have a Legion's End, but that shouldn't be enough to taunt us to keep 3 cards we can't play hand, so we'll mulligan. Okay, that was weird that one hesitated. Now we're only locked out of 1 card, and we'll get rid of a Godless Shrine. And we still have a Legion's End, so the thing that was tempting me last hand is something I still have in my hand now, so good decision to mulligan. If he plays an Innkeeper, we will Legion's End it. I have no qualms doing that. Okay, Clover is dangerous. Just gonna keep playing our Godless Shrines, because look at this, 1, 2, 3 Godless Shrines here, and 1 right there. Bam. All 4 Godless Shrines in the top 8 cards. It's pretty crazy. Okay, milling himself for Uro? Or is there some other reason to mill yourself that I don't know about? Because this is apparently a deck that I haven't been paying attention to, because this is the second time I've seen someone do something like that, and I just was surprised because I don't know what they're doing. Now, if it's just for Uro and just for a card draw from the Edgekeeper, then sure. See what you got in your hand, dude. Brazen Borrower and Fey Wishes and an Aether Gust. Still no red mana. So he probably wishes this next turn. Gets 2 wishes. We'll probably be forced to Conclave Tribunal something. But what? Oh, no, we're saving... Are we saving the Tribunal for the Nissa? Play the Midnight Reaper to block the land, and then Tribunal the Nissa. It's probably the right play. Yep, Nissa and the Tameo, those are the 2 things the Tribunals are doing. So, still no red mana, and we need double red for Chandra, so she is a ways off. Nice thing about Conclave Tribunal in this deck is Krenko makes a lot of goblins, and Chandra makes 2 creatures. So what you do is you make these little 1/1s, and then you use them to just use the Tribunal, and it's hilarious. And a lot of our creatures are black-white. So when you have those Corpse Knights and Cruel Celebrants that you don't want to do anything with, yeah, I'll kill your land. Like, I'm not opposed to this. Ooh, Legion's End makes me want to almost let him untap some more lands. So, the Merfolk whatever is for the Tamiyo. That makes more sense. And you can get back a Henge or a Beanstalk Giant next turn. So, let's see what we're working with. Basically want just red mana, I think. I don't think we want a Cruel Celebrant yet because we can't play a Chandra, and Chandra is one of the biggest players with the Cruel Celebrant. So we'll put that at the bottom. Now, I could... Yeah, we'll Tribunal the Nissa. Just don't let him have extra mana when you don't need to. So he does have a Brazen Borrower to bounce a Conclave. I didn't look too closely at that. He's naming cards. What is he naming? Uro, Clover, what? Innkeeper. Okay. So he has a borrower to bounce the Nissa. 2, 3. If we draw a land, ooh. So this is what I was saying. Check this out. So pay 2 life. Play a Chandra. Or we could play a Krenko. We could play a Krenko and then Tribunal. Or we could play a Chandra and then Tribunal. I think we'd rather play the Krenko and Tribunal. Just so we can attack with him next turn. Problem is he can get back both of his... I didn't think about this. So if we do the Tamiyo, he can Brazen Borrower both his Planeswalkers back. So we got to do the Clover. So it can only bounce one Planeswalker back. Okay. Or he can just play a Clover, like, and do it anyway, because now he gets a Clover and the Nissa back. Okay, this did not work out. These Conclave Tribunals are not doing so great against the Brazen Borrowers. Nice thing is we can Conclave both next turn, because we play a Chandra, we make 2 tokens, we swing with Krenko, we make 2 tokens. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3. If we draw a land we can, or we can Legion's End and do 1 Conclave Tribunal next turn. So we Legion's End the Breeding Pool, and then we Conclave Tribunal the Tamiyo. Because we don't want him getting back Brazen Borrowers and stuff. Or Giants. So first off, we have to Legion in the Breeding Pool. Dang it. I was hoping he didn't realize that he had 3 manas. But your card's glowing in your hand, of course you can realize. Is he just going to get forests? He's got to get a blue for his Aether Gust. There's a blue for the Aether Gust. What else? So he basically gained 1 mana in that exchange. So he went from 3 mana to 4 mana. Okay, we know all his cards. So he can flash in a Brazen Borrower, which cannot block Krenko. Do we need a Krenko? So next turn we do a Chandra, 1, 2, 3, get 2 creatures out. We'd actually rather have a land, I think, than a Krenko at this point. Let's see what we got going on down here. So we Legion's End the Breeding Pool. We Chandra's to play some creatures and then Conclave the Tamiyo. He's got no Innkeepers. He's got 3 to block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we need a land, so we'll decline. A land it is. So he's got no cards in his hand, so whatever we exile doesn't matter. We could exile the Fae of Wishes so that he can't wish again. That might be the better play, but then we lose the Chandra. But he doesn't have any cards in hand to return the Fae of Wishes, so it's get rid of the breeding pool. Then play the Chandra. Make 2 tokens, not attack with them. Oh, we have no white mana. We tapped wrong. Look at this. Oh, that bothers me so much. These castles, you gotta make sure you tap the castles because we had the Conclave Tribunal for the Tameo. Oh, that just really bothers me. Okay, so Storm's Wrath coming in for the Planeswalkers. Should have thought about that the first game. Duresses and Agonizing Remorses. The Agonizing Remorses. This was the first game. This was the second game. Okay. Shock for the Edgewall still, sure. Legion's End for the Edgewalls. Because the Edgewall Innkeepers are a big deal. Maybe get rid of the Shock and just rely on the Legion's End because it exiles it. So, you got to make sure that the auto-tapper taps those stinking castles. Because that was ridiculous. So, maybe just go down on the Shock. We are in the play. Down a Conclave. What else do we want to go down? We'll go down 1 Legion's End and 1 Conclave. We're going to go more our plan than his plan, I think, and we brought in the 2 Storm's Wraths. So, that's okay. Maybe we could have played out that last game, but I was so upset at that auto-tapper that, like, the problem is he's got a Tameo that's doing powerful things that we could have removed. Look at that, no lands. Okay. That's improving my mood, let me tell you. So, I'm not on tilt or anything. This game's not making it worse. So we play the Temple and then the Shrine, so we've got all our colors. We like Light Up the Stage and a creature. Problem is we probably need both creatures, so we probably got to ditch the Storm's Wrath. I really like both the Light Up the Stages, so it's whether we get rid of the Cruel Celebrant or the Corpse Knight. This Corpse Knight represents more damage. Cruel Celebrant represents more life. I don't know if we're looking for lands. Probably looking for creatures, but we'll accept a land. Okay. If we lose this match, I'm still posting it. And we're just going to name it Death by Auto-Tapper. Because I think that second game we would have stayed in the match. Because he would have untapped the Nissa. I need to get over that last game. So, we have a lot of Light Up the Stages. Check this out. I'm going to light up the stage. If we get red mana, I'm going to light up the stage again. Ooh. Sure. We can handle this. Yeah. I'll accept. Great Hanger Borrower. Well, since the Borrower can do annoying things, our opponent has only lands in the henge. This is good for us. Please show us what that last card is. Please don't be anything that interacts with my creature. Okay, 1 bottom. That's what you always want to see your opponent do. Never want to see him put it on top. So, Shock in the Crypt. I Shocked in the Crypt to light up the stage, but now I realize I don't know if I want to light up the stage. Okay, we can play both of these, we just can't play the Tribunal. Although we could play everything and play the Tribunal, so maybe, depending on what he plays, we do. That means we're not attacking. Our opponent does not run board wipes, so we don't have to worry about playing into that. Okay, so probably need more white. I don't know if it's worth spending a life for it yet. Pew pew! Pew pew! So we could have done 4 less damage and gotten rid of the clover, which we may regret here, but I think we're threatening lethal next turn by just Castle Emberthing. So he blocks a 4, so 3, 6, 7. Yeah, we just Castle Emberth and win. No, I'm not upset about game 2. Anyway, hope y'all learned some lessons about auto tappers. Castles are notorious for it. You got to make sure, if you have, especially if you have more than one castle like we did, you got to click on that castle and tap it for mana. Otherwise, the auto tapper's like, you want to keep the castle, right? And we're like, no, we wanted the white mana. It's because the algorithm couldn't figure out that, hey, if we leave a white mana open, we actually have Conclave Tribunal, because it didn't know about us playing the 2 creatures. So, anyway, fun game. Krenko, we still don't get to see Krenko in action, but when he does come out, he does the same thing the Chandra does, which is just, hey, by the way, look at all these little 1/1s that now, like, they come in, they activate the Corpse Knights, and then when if they happen to board wipe and they have Cruel Celebrant out, then it's fantastic. So, just this deck's all about just making lots of little creatures and punishing our opponent for board wiping us, and just keeping the kind of tempo of, hey, by the way, I'm just always going to do a little bit of damage to you. Just creatures in and out, just entering and exiting. Anyway, I don't think I have much here. If you like the video, go ahead, share it with someone. Subscribe. We do videos every day, and those are things that'll keep the channels going. And we definitely need this channel to grow in the near future. So, peace, y'all.